When I first heard about the term spirituality, I was a bit skeptical because maybe what most people think spirituality is probably the reason why I left the religion I was in to begin with, because I couldn't find any answers. And although spirituality is not completely bad, because there's good and bad in everything, right? And everyone. But I just feel like spirituality has turned into a cult. And yes, what attracts most people from the outside in is that it promises that it can heal and change your life. And maybe that's the biggest scam people don't even realize, to be fair. So I was born into a Muslim family. And my whole life I've been practicing the religion all the way up until I actually got up one day and had the bravery and the courage to actually leave the religion because I wasn't convinced anymore. And that was 5 years ago. And 5 years ago was also when I found out about spirituality and stuff. And this is when I started looking into it. I actually started getting into meditation and stuff, but I was still very skeptical about the whole term spirituality, or the whole label spirituality, and what it actually entails. And as time went by, I actually started this year getting myself involved with spiritual communities and spiritual festivals and things like that. And this is where my experience and story began, to be fair, because I always felt like I sort of ran away from my religion exactly for those reasons, because I didn't find any acceptance. I found a lot of judgment. I didn't find any sort of love or any sort of compassion or any sort of understanding. It was always a case of you have to do these things, or you have to look like one of us, or otherwise you can just not even fuck off. Because in Islam, if you are already an existent Muslim and you leave the religion, you make the decision to leave, then it makes you an apostate, which then means that Islamically they're allowed to actually kill you because you left the religion, and the punishment for leaving the religion is to be killed. There's obviously so many other reasons, but mainly it is the whole fact of not accepting and judging and hating on anyone that doesn't do or look like one of us. And when I came into these hippie and spiritual communities and festivals, I would actually walk around and look at how everyone's dressed, right? Everyone's dressed in colourful clothes and just different looking costumes, and everyone's got crazy looking hair and crazy looking makeup. And I would just look around and just think, okay, like, what is actually weird about this? What is even weird, right? What is even weird? And because I was sort of embracing my own style in clothes, yeah, and just wearing what makes me feel comfortable, I got judged a lot by most of the people that were wearing funky stuff and crazy hair and braids and everything. And I was being judged quite a lot for arriving at something like this, wearing what they call ordinary clothes. I've actually had a person come up to me and say, okay, like, what is a normal looking person like you doing here? And this is when it really opened my mind, and I thought, right, what is even normal? What is even ordinary? This is weird. Like, why am I thought I came to a non-judgmental free zone. I thought I came to somewhere where I can actually be me and not get judged, and actually feel like I'm being accepted. And this literally kept on happening to the point where a lady literally came up to me and says, can you please make sure you wear something suitable for the next festival? And I still arrived in a pair of tracksuit bottoms and a top because that's what I feel comfortable in, right? That's what I like. I saw the disappointment in her face, but that also made me really think about how we've turned this whole spirituality thing into a look without even realizing it. And yet again, as human beings, we've created the same fucked up image again, just like all the other religions did, by creating that certain image for this certain group which you have to follow, and you have to look like this in order for you to be accepted. And I get the whole point is to look as weird as possible, right? I don't even personally understand what weird is exactly, but what if someone just wants to remain exactly how they look and not want to change anything about how they look? Are they not accepted in this community? Because it's been turned into looks and appearances, and it really diverts you further away from the actual reality of the fact that these are all costumes. Whether if I'm wearing a costume or not, they are still costumes. Everything, our faces, my hair, everything, my body, everything is a costume. And it doesn't matter what you hold on the outside, right? And that's exactly what I thought spirituality was. I thought spirituality was about how you are as a person, regardless of everything you withhold and anything material that you have, or your beauty, or your status in society, your clothes, your hair, your makeup, whatever it is. I thought spirituality was exactly that. But it turns out in the end, it's just like all these other religions, where you have to have a certain image about you in order for you to be accepted, and in order for you to be part of them or part of their group. And this was the exact reason why I left my religion, because I just didn't agree anymore with having to be a certain type of way in order for you to be accepted. And this is why, even when it comes to things like meditation and shit, yeah, even things like that, I don't really understand like why people think they have to sit, for example, in a certain posture, like, and have their legs crossed and shit, and have their fingers in a certain like way, for example, in order for them to meditate properly, or to get what if that don't work for you? What if you feel more of a calmer state in other postures, or not even postures? What if you're meditating as you're walking, just like this, in a hike, like, and that works for you, and you're meditating? And what if you're meditating like while you're dancing? I personally do that, to be fair. Like, I get really, really in touch or in connection with my body and with everything around me when I dance, and I feel very calm and in a state to meditate. But again, I feel like meditation has turned into an image, and like, and this is exactly what puts people off, is the fact that they think they have to follow certain things in order for them to achieve that. It's just like prayer in Islam, for example. Yeah, you have to pray in certain postures and stuff. It's just like Judaism, where you have to pray standing up as well. And this is the thing, and these are all reasons on why I decided to leave my religion, because I could not believe any longer in anything like that, where you have to be a certain way, you have to have a certain look, you have to pray in a certain way, you have to do this in order for you to connect with something. And it's quite insane as well, actually, because when I was in those communities, those so-called spiritual communities or spiritual festivals, I don't really know, to be honest, what made people think I need help. You know, you need God, you need Jesus. It's just like when Christians, yeah, or Muslims or whatever, look at you and think, oh, you need God, you need Jesus Christ, Jesus will save you, you know. And it wasn't long before I found myself just around all these people who are coming up to me and saying, I can read cards, and I'm a healer, and I can do this and I can do that. And I sort of knew where this was going anyways, but I just sort of played along with it anyways. And it just felt like how I've been feeling since I've left the religion, to be honest. Just being attacked by all these people who are trying to bring me back and guide me to the right path again. And there's nothing wrong with helping people, but that's only if those people have actually asked for your help. And you know as well, the biggest scam and problem with that, and with trying to heal others and help others and guide others and read cards for others and sit with others and think that we know better than them and tell them what's worked for them and what you should do as well in order for you to better your life. First of all, yeah, I believe that every single one of us is right exactly where they are. And this is why, even if you give advice to other people, yeah, it's not going to even work for them, because your experience in life is different to theirs, right? And it's a fucking myth as well, and it's a trap we all fall into, because we think we're so spiritual now, and we've reached this godly stage now where we're allowed to judge others and go and advise others and help others. And this whole fucking concept as well of the superhero that's going to save the world and that's going to make the world better, that's a fucking myth too, because I used to think that myself, because I used to think that as well in my first years of awakening. I used to always think, oh, I need to tell the world about this, and how the fuck does anyone not know, and I need to tell the whole world and save the world. And this whole idea of thinking you're Jesus Christ, yeah, you're the one that's gonna fucking save the world, you're the one that's gonna guide everyone to the right path, is fucking bullshit, and it's the biggest myth, and it's the biggest scam in life. And this is why I feel like people who claim spirituality, yeah, that go to other people and claim to be a healer and stuff, they're just bullshitting, man. And they don't realize they're bullshitting as well, because we're constantly diverting ourselves from the real mission, which is focusing on you, right? Focusing on me. This was also one of the main reasons why I really started questioning my own religion, my own natural born. I was born Muslim, and I left the religion only 5 years ago. And before I left the religion, I was actually always questioning why people came up to me all the time and gave me advice and thought that they knew better and thought I needed help and stuff. It all stems from an ego point of view, man. It's literally the exact same concept of just thinking that you're better than everyone else and people need your advice. So it makes you focus on everyone else rather than focusing on you. It distracts you from the actual real mission, which is bettering you and pouring all that knowledge and wisdom into you, to then going after people's faults and mistakes and judging everyone around you and trying to heal and help everyone around you when you need that help yourself. And this is why I've always said, before healing anyone, go heal yourself. Heal yourself, because once you're healed, that everything around you will be healed too. You won't have to go and heal anyone, right? It's literally the same thing in Islam, where, you know, you see the dawah men in town, in Central, whether if it's in Cardiff, in London, in Manchester, you'll always see dawah men trying to guide you to the right path as well, and trying to guide you to God's path, because they think that they're going to save you, right? They're going to save you and they're going to stop you going to hell, right? They're going to take you to paradise instead and take you to heavens. The same way with how Christians do it as well, also in town, whether if it's in whatever city in the UK or even abroad. Like, bro, even when I was in Italy, I seen them. And they actually approached me and they tried guiding me to Jesus Christ in Italy. And this is why this whole spirituality thing, I swear to God, reminds me so much of what I had to go through in Islam and what I'm still going through. It's the same fucking shit, yet just a different name. It's the same fucking shit, just a different name, just different label. That's all it is. But all these labels and groups you see, all they're trying to do is divert you from the actual mission. Distract you from the actual real mission in life, which is focusing on you. Even when you get to the point where you think you're absolutely superior and you're God now and you know everything and you've figured it all out and you have to go and share it with the world, even then also realize that everyone in the world right now is right exactly where they are. You can't magically speed up someone's healing process. If someone's meant to be going through something, they'll go through it in their own time, right? And when they're finally ready to go through it as well, they'll go searching for it themselves, right? They won't need anyone to come to them. They don't need a prophet, right? Because this is again very similar to the stories in Islam, for example, about God sending certain prophets to certain people because he thinks they're bad and he needs to guide them to the right path. We're not prophets, okay? We're not the chosen ones. None of that bullshit, man. None of us are chosen and none of us are meant to be here guiding anyone to anything. I think the only guidance that we need to do in this life is guide ourselves first and look at what we're doing in our life and where we're going, and look at where we're heading as well, and not let that ego step in and think that you need to go and give people advice and better their life when your own life needs bettering. I'm so fucking glad that I get to explore life like this all on my own without like following a book or following anything. I'm just sort of like figuring it out as I go, and all these conclusions that I've come down to up until this point has been based on my personal experience in life and how it's all going for me. And I'd like to say that I definitely don't believe in the term spirituality, because I don't believe in something that you can feel before seeing, right? I believe in connectivity. Why? Because connectivity means that I can see something and then connect with it, then feel it, right? See it, then feel it, rather than feel it, then see it. Because this is how I feel, for example, when I'm in beautiful places like this and I'm just looking at everything and I'm in the present moment, right? And I'm just watching the birds fly and the squirrels just running out of their little tree houses and bugs and butterflies and just magic going on, right? I get so lost in the moment that I start to feel things, and that's what I believe in. Connection with nature, connectivity with things, rather than spirituality. Because in spirituality, I found nothing spiritual at all about the things that I've seen, to be honest. I don't personally see anything spiritual about looking a certain way and doing certain things or certain rituals and having a set of cards or whatever it is and witchcraft book, then this makes you a spiritual person, or this makes you someone who's better than other people. Because all those people do without realizing is that they constantly look down and judge other people that don't look like them as well. And spiritual people in general always judge people who are non-spiritual, right, who are not like them, because they think they've reached that enlightenment stage now in life where they know everything and everyone around them is just dumb and stupid and don't know wagwan. There's nothing spiritual about judging everyone around us, because when we judge people all the time, that just means that we probably judge ourselves all the time, which is not a spiritual thing to do at all, to judge yourself, right? And this is what all these religious groups are teaching us, is to, number one, focus on other people rather than focusing on ourselves. And second of all, judge everyone. Make sure you judge everyone and everything around you. I get it is human nature to judge, yeah, but I also think this is probably why all these religious groups have been created, because I was thinking yesterday, yeah, I bet you this is how religion started, you know? Just like how this whole spirituality thing started with, like, where they were all about peace, love, be you, be free, be accepted, not judged, and do whatever you like. And then slowly but surely, when people start to become very weird, or what they call weird in their eyes, people that don't look weird enough start to get judged, and then they start to get kicked out of the group then, because no one likes them, because they don't look like everyone else, right, and they don't do the things everyone else does. Yeah, and it just made me think, I bet you this is probably how religion started off, to be fair. It started off like this, and then it turned into like just certain rules and certain laws you have to follow, and a certain look you have to have as well, and it's all about appearance, and it's all about guiding other people who are lost as well. And then it turns into this judgmental thing, and then people start to get killed because of it. Obviously, it didn't go that far yet with spirituality, but it has gone that far with a lot of other religions. It's actually pretty sad how spirituality maybe tried to save the world, and they wanted to save the world. And this is why I just don't believe in saving anyone, man. Just save yourself. The only person you can save is yourself, for real. Because that's the biggest trap in life, thinking you're going to save the world, right? But what you tend to forget is that once you change what's inside of you, your whole world begins to change. My daughter literally wakes up every morning now and she reads a poster on my wall that says, when I change the way I look at life, life begins to change. I'm forever rebelling against anything that makes you feel like you have to look a certain way, or be a certain way, or dress a certain way just to please society and community and religion and whoever the fuck. The most spiritual thing you can do in the world is to be you, and to try your best not to judge you or anything around you. And that, my friend, in my opinion, is the most spiritual thing you can do for yourself and the world, if you really want to save the fucking world. Because other people's realities don't have to be amazing, as long as your reality is amazing, right? And as long as you're constantly reflecting in your reality how you feel inside, because you feel amazing all the time, right? And you're just a good person in general, and you keep yourself to yourself, you don't go around judging other people or putting your 20 pence in, and you don't use the voice that you got given to harm or hurt other people with your words, whether you realize it or not. The most spiritual thing you can do in the world is guide you and help you. And don't worry about other people's realities, as long as your reality is amazing, because everyone is reflecting what's inside of them, right? Whilst religion and spirituality are both designed to make you focus on other people rather than focusing on yourself. And this is why enlightenment sometimes can be a curse rather than a blessing, because you think you know so much now that you are qualified to go around helping people and telling them what you know. And this is what I've realized as an ex-Muslim girl who nothing I ever did was good enough. People were constantly criticizing, judging everything I do all the time. It just made me realize how people really focus on everything you do in your life rather than focusing on themselves. And that was the beginning of my journey, and here I am now, wondering the same thing about spirituality. And at that point, I remember saying to myself that the best service that you can possibly do for the world every day is focus on yourself. Don't let anything distract you from the main mission. Focusing on yourself is a service to the world every day. absolutely beautiful.